wondered what is an evergreen post and how do you use them? You'll find out in this e-commerce marketing for beginners tutorial. In the next few minutes, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about auto lists using Metricool and how to use them to make your social media marketing easy. My name is ELISE Nelson and I help tech challenge makers build a profitable e-commerce brand. Thanks for joining me on my YouTube channel where I offer lessons that are 15 minutes or less to help you grow your e-commerce shop. In this short video, I'm going to answer the question, can Metricool do an auto list? And help you understand why social media evergreen content is so important for your e-commerce shop. Before we jump into this maker lesson, I'd love to know, do you plan to reuse your social media posts when you create them? Leave a comment and let me know. We're going to start today's lesson with a definition of evergreen from Merriam-Webster. So Merriam-Webster defines evergreen as having foliage that remains green and functional through more than one growing season. They also say that it is retaining freshness or interest, and that it is universally and continually relevant, not limited in applicability to a particular event or date. An example of this would be a cedar, fir, pine, or spruce tree. These are evergreen trees. And I find this interesting because while these trees are evergreen, meaning that they don't lose their leaves, they always look the same, they also represent a very time-specific season and holiday in winter and Christmas. So I find that really interesting. So what are the keys to being evergreen? What can we reap from Merriam-Webster? Number one, you use it more than once. It is not limited to a specific event or date. And number two, it retains freshness, interest, and relevance, regardless of when it is there. If you want more help with your e-commerce brand, subscribe and sign up for notifications right here on my YouTube channel, where I offer lessons that are 15 minutes or less to help you grow your e-commerce shop. Now let's talk about what an evergreen post is. Number one, it can be used again and again because it is not related to a time-specific focus, such as a date or an event. Number two, it retains its freshness, interest, and relevance. In other words, every time someone sees it, they like it and engage with it. An example of an evergreen post is an introduction post or a quote post. When you do an introduction post, you are introducing yourself or your brand, and this is something that will be relevant from now on. As new people come into your brand, they're going to want to know who you are and what you do. And it's a way to remind people who already know about your brand what you are and what you do. And then a quote post, of course, can be used at any time of year over and over again. So why is evergreen posting important to your e-commerce brand? Because it gets you off the hamster wheel of constantly creating new posts for your business. And, or depending upon what kind of social media poster you've been, it may rescue you from failing to post at all on social media. Now, for a moment, I want you to imagine with me having an entire year of content planned out and auto-posting for your small business. What would this do for you? This would help you free up your time and, more importantly, your mind to focus on other tasks. Now, this is the big objection that I get to evergreen posting. But Elise, I like to keep my content current and up to date. Evergreen posting does not prevent you from adding additional, more timely posts, such as product launches, sales, etc. What evergreen posting does is it lets you focus on creating excellent event-based posts because you're no longer having to whip out a large quantity of posts over and over again, every single day conquering the same mountain. Now you know that your posts are going to go up and you can focus on creating one really great post a week or creating a whole social media content plan for a specific launch without having to feel the pressure of keeping up every single day. If you want help creating a full year of social media feed posts, be sure to check out the 7-Minute-a-Day Social Media Challenge. Or if you want help creating a full year of short form vertical video for TikTok stories and reels, be sure to check out the Social Media Growth Challenge. I offer these two challenges each 3 times a year. So they're only available 3 times a year, so make sure you sign up now so you don't miss out on the next challenge. The links, of course, are in the description. Before we jump into the rest of this lesson, be sure to like this video And stick with me to the end of the video to learn your challenge for the day, because every single one of my videos is going to give you an actionable step to move your business forward based on what we've learned in the video. Let's talk about how to create an auto list using Metricool. And this is my favorite social media scheduler. The link to sign up for free is in the description. I highly recommend you check it out. So here in Metricool, we are going to come in to the planning tab, and then we're going to go to the auto lists. Now, before we jump into the new auto list, I want to talk a little bit about what's here in the auto lists. So each one of these is a separate auto list. It tells you the name of the auto list, the next time it's going to be posting, which networks it's using, the number of posts that it is using, and if it is repeating, that's what this little symbol means, and it tells you if it is on. So this second one here says off. That means this one is not currently going to post. Sometimes if you don't have enough content, for example, this is only 2 posts, you may not want to start posting right away. So you may want to turn the auto list off until you have enough content in there to have it be used over and over again. So that's why this one is off and this one is on. You can see many of mine have about 24, 25, and then I have several that are closer to a full year, 48, 51. These all post once a week, and so this means this is an entire year of questions that are going to be posted to Twitter. So this is what the advantage of using an auto list is. You can create this content, even if you start creating it now for this year, then use it again for the next year by setting it up as an auto list. So this is what we're trying to achieve, is making it so that your content is going to automatically post over and over again so you don't have to stress. And you always have the option of going back in and editing these posts for the next year. Let's say you posted it once and you realize that you should have said it a different way. Go in and edit your copy for the next year. You're not stuck with leaving them exactly as they are, but it does give you a point of reference and a place to start for year after year. Now let's talk about how to create that list. So we're going to make a new auto list. The very first thing you need to do when you come into your new auto list is create a name. So I like to use the format day, content, platform when I'm creating the names for my auto lists. What this means is that I put the day first so that when I'm looking at all of my auto lists, I can see in order from Monday through Sunday what is going to be posting next. I like to look at it that way by day, but I've definitely seen people who prefer to look at it by platform. So it would show everything from Facebook together, everything from Twitter together. So you're going to have to decide how you'd like to name your auto list. I highly recommend you have a system so that it is easy to find what you're looking for and to easily tell what you have going on all of your social media accounts. As you just saw, I have a lot of auto lists, and if it was not organized, it would be very difficult to tell what was where. So decide what your way of naming is going to be. For me, on my day, I assign a number because it's easier to get it organized by day if you have a number first. So Monday is 1, and then Tuesday is 2, etc., etc. So I'm going to go ahead and change this name, and we are going to pretend that we are posting on Monday. So 01 Monday is how I would label that. And then I'm going to say what it is. So we're going to be doing quotes, and then we're going to say which platforms we're going to use. So let's say for this particular auto list, I want to post to Facebook. Now you have the option of posting to just one platform or to multiple platforms. That is up to you. But keep in mind that every platform has their own style of posts. So for example, Instagram has 30 hashtags. You don't typically put 30 hashtags on a Facebook post. So keep these things in mind when you decide what to group together. For this example, I'm going to say I'm only posting to Facebook. So the next thing you need to do is click on where to publish. So if I'm posting to Facebook, I would select Facebook and leave the rest unselected. Next, you would move on to your configuration. Every platform has a different configuration based upon what Metricool needs to know to post. I'm going to go ahead and select all of these just so that I can show you all the different configuration options so you can make sure that you can find what you need as you're posting. So the very first thing in the configuration, regardless of where you decide to publish, is going to be the global preset for repeat. And what this means is that once it finishes posting all of your posts, do you want it to stop? Or do you want it to start at the beginning all over again? So if you have, I would say, 30 posts or more and you're posting weekly, it is probably pretty safe to turn repeat on. If you have 2 posts, I would not turn repeat on because you do not want to have the same 2 posts post every single day. Unless for some reason you do want that to happen. Maybe there is something that you posted to YouTube that you think is an excellent video and you want to post about it every week for the next 6 weeks. Then maybe you do want to turn on repeat. So you have to decide what your goal is with particular content that you're working on, and then either turn repeat on or off. Most of my lists I have repeat on. I have a few lists that I am working on building content, like that one I just showed you, where I have the actual list completely turned off. So it doesn't really matter whether it says repeat or not. I won't turn that list on until I have enough content to let it continuously repeat. All right, so that is for global presets. Each of these little carrots can be clicked on to open up the entire list. So the next thing under global presets is the URL shortener. So the URL shortener, basically what it does is it replaces your URLs with a shortened URL. So if I posted a link to go and buy a water bottle holder, which is something that I create, and it says the devilclip.com/water, for example. That's not actually a link that's available, but Metricool would actually take that link, erase it, and put their own link. And that link would be shorter than devilclip.com/water, theoretically. The reason you might want to do this is because when you use Metricool's link shortener, it allows them to monitor how many clicks happen on that post, which gives you additional analytics data, which can be very useful information. If no one clicks on it, then it didn't get very much engagement. Now, there's lots of reasons that that could be if you just don't have a big enough account, et cetera, but that type of analytics data can be very useful. So if you want to get that data, I would recommend leaving the URL shortener on, like it is now. I, on the other hand, am much more concerned about making sure that people recognize my brand and remember my brand. So to delete that link that says my brand name in it, that takes them to my URL, is something that most of the time I don't want to do. So usually I turn my URL shortener off, sacrificing the data and analytics for that one particular thing so that I can get people to recognize my brand. So you'll have to decide which is best for your brand. The next part here is for Instagram, and that is auto-publishing. So auto-publishing is where the post automatically goes to the platform. So for Twitter, Facebook, those are all going to auto-post. There's not really an option for auto-publishing. Instagram, though, if you want to post to stories or reels, those cannot be auto-published because Instagram does not allow it in their API. So what that means is you would have to do a notification post. A notification post means that you'll get a notification either to your email or your cell phone if you have the Metricool app installed, and then you will be able to click a button to instantly go into Instagram, in this case, and upload the copy and the creative image or video right from the Metricool app into the Instagram app. So typically I suggest having auto-publish on if you can. So for example, the Instagram feed. But if it is something like Reels or Stories and you can't, then I would recommend using notification posting. So typically I'm going to leave this on auto-publish. And then for Pinterest, you need to select your board. If you don't, it will default to the first board that shows up, which most likely is not where you want to post your content. So you're simply going to click on it and select the board that you want to do. All right, so that is the configuration for each of those platforms. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off now, since we're supposed to be posting to Facebook, like so. So now I'm posting to Facebook, and then I always like just to make sure that these match what I'm publishing to. The final thing that we need to set up here on our auto list is our timing. And the thing that I found really interesting here when I went to set up my first auto list was that I cannot turn off Sunday. And the reason is because you have to have at least one day selected. So before you can turn off Sunday, you need to select another day. So let's say I wanted to post on Thursday. If I select Thursday and then I click on Sunday, now Sunday has been deselected. You also want to make sure you set your AM and PM and your time. So if I wanted this to be at 3:11 p.m. on Thursdays, now this auto list, each of the pieces of content that I put into here will automatically post on Thursdays at 3:11 p.m. every single week, assuming that we do a weekly post. So we did it on Thursdays. Now let's say that I wanted to actually post on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Tuesdays I want to post at 6:12. I would have to have two different ones because they're two different times. So if you want different times, you'll have to have different rows here. and you can just click add to add as many rows as you want. If you add a row that you don't need, you're just going to click the little trash can to delete it, like so. For the most part, I recommend having 6 different types of content. One of them will repeat to get your full 7 days, and that is typically your product posts. So what this means is that you should be posting each type of content once a week, so you would only have 1 day. But you can set this up whatever is most convenient for you. That's just what I recommend. And that is all there is to creating a new auto list. In the next video, I will tell you how to add posts to your auto list. There is actually 2 different ways, so we'll be going over that in the next video. Today's question was, do you plan to reuse your social media posts when you create them? Leave a comment and let me know. Get the Metricool full tutorial by watching the Metricool tutorial playlist. Also be sure to get the easiest social media organization system and schedule all your posts on all your platforms with just one spreadsheet. The links are in the description. Also be sure to watch my last YouTube video about the best times to post on social media platforms for your e-commerce business. In the next video, we'll be discussing how to create a post using Metricool auto lists. Be sure to sign up for the 7-minute a day social media challenge to create 17 weeks of social media feed posts, and or join the social media growth challenge to create 17 weeks of short form vertical video for TikTok stories and reels. Each of those challenges only happens 3 times a year, and the links for both of them, of course, are in the description of this video. Your challenge for today is to create 1 auto list for each day of the week using a different type of content. If you need ideas, be sure to look at the instructions on the easiest social media organization system spreadsheet. The link for that is in the description. Don't forget to live your dream every single day, and I will see you in the next lesson.